What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me in another video today. I had the luxury of seeing a new DC movie in theaters, which there hasn't been a new DC movie in theaters for quite some time now, and it is Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Directed by David F. Sandberg, this movie was pretty good, and going into it, I was not really looking forward to it that much because I've seen so much already about it, seen some spoilers. I just was not all that enthused because of everything between DC and Warner Brothers right now that's going on, a new takeover with a new lead, and there's just so much convoluted stuff happening between some of the main actors that have been part of the DCU. It just kind of took me out of it, so I was like, well, if everything's gonna be reset, then I don't know, we'll see. But overall, this movie was pretty alright, you know. I have some issues with it, but it was not a bad movie by any means. It just wasn't necessarily what I was expecting. So the basic gist of the movie is the daughters of Atlas, which is Hespera, Anthea, and Calypso, they are pretty peeved that their father Atlas got his power stolen by the wizard Shazam, along with a lot of other gods whose their powers got stolen by this wizard and the Council of Wizards. They seek vengeance in trying to get their father's power back and do something else along the way as well, and I don't want to give away anything. This is a spoiler-free review. Helen Mirren, Rachel Zegler, and Lucy Liu star in this as the Daughters of Atlas, and they do a damn good job. The acting was really good on their part. You have Asher Angel and Jack Dylan Grazer as Billy Batson and Freddy. They are two kids that have such great chemistry, even from the first movie. They have really good chemistry together, and I really like the humor in this movie. It was spot on. It definitely will make you laugh. However, I just feel this movie kind of was lacking a little bit with the story. I was hoping that they would have leaned a little bit more on some of the comics, but of course, you know, with live action iterations, not everything can be transferred over, and that's okay. It's just, as a fan, I was kind of hoping for that. There were times where some of the acting seemed a little bit forced. And what I mean by forced is it just seemed like the person that was acting or just didn't really believe what they were saying and just kind of were just saying the lines, not actually believing and putting forth a lot of effort into it. But there were just a few moments like that. There were times also where I felt the story moved a little bit funky, where just certain things that characters were doing in regards to moving along the plot, I thought it was a little bit off and a little bit weak, in my opinion, personally. But the ending of this movie, or the last half of the movie, final act of the movie, is really where it's at, man. I'll say, even though the movie I think is all right, that last half of the movie was phenomenal. And there's, you know, a cameo that comes in that a lot of us already know about. I mean, we knew about it before we went in, and seeing it actually in live action was, wow, it was pretty good. You know, I still felt the emotions, and towards the end there's a couple scenes where I really felt the emotions. But overall, as I said, it is not the best movie, but it is definitely a decent movie. It's a fun time. I definitely recommend that you go watch it. To be honest, I'm thinking that I'm definitely going to do a spoiler review of this movie because I have to talk about some things in order to explain why I feel the way I feel. Some other positives: the CGI looked really good. The way how the heroes looked when they were heroing was really good. Again, the humor was spot on. There were times where sometimes I was like, that was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't that funny. But it was maybe like, what, 2 or 3 times that happened over the 2.5 hours that we watched the movie. And the chemistry between the actors and actresses, I'll say, is pretty good. I kind of slept on that a little bit, but as the movie went on, I felt because of the chemistry between the actors and actresses. So I'll say that's a big positive of the movie, that at least it entices you, you know, it keeps you intrigued because of the chemistry and the emotions that go into certain moments, especially considering that these are kids that turn into big adult superheroes. So even if they're big adult superheroes, they're still kids, and that's something to keep in mind. So I'm hoping with this and the Flash and the new Aquaman coming out that the DCU really starts pumping up and starts to get going, because, you know, again, this movie was all right in my opinion. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't really over the top good. It was all right, and I enjoyed myself. I would see it again. So thank you guys for stopping by the channel. It is greatly appreciated, as always. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you can get a notification anytime there's a new video. Thanks again, guys. Until the next one.